Okay, so it's been a while since our last meeting, and I wrote the therapeutic letter that you just read. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, it was really interesting to read the letter and really kind of think about my part in my story. I think that's something that I didn't expect, to feel like a lot of my story is perspective, and if someone from the outside was looking at my story, they may not feel the same way I've always felt. So that was encouraging.
Okay, encouraging how?
Um, to think that I have the ability to change my perspective. I think I always thought I didn't have the possibility of change was limited because this was very much how I am and who I am. And then reading the letter made me feel that there's more possibility for change than I thought. As much of it is perspective and not necessarily reality.
Okay. Were there any parts of the letter that you wanted to correct or add?
I think maybe talking more about when you had asked how I had gotten into graduate school and how that came about. I really didn't give myself any credit in that. And after talking with my mentor and discussing my colleague that had helped me in that, in the application process, after talking with her, she had a different view on my part in it. So I think editing that to include more of my part in the success of it would be a good idea.
What is your part in it?
I think knowing what I wanted and deciding that this was the right next step for me in my life, and taking the initiative to follow through with that. I think she saw something in me to encourage graduate school and to encourage me to apply for this program. And that's why it was that she saw something in me, not that she was taking control over my life and giving me that luck necessarily, that I had a part in that.
So you, instead of seeing yourself as this failure and this, unsuccess, now you're seeing that you had initiative and that you had to take action and that you really took charge of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Wonderful. Is there anything that you would delete from the narrative?
I think I talked about relationships in my life also being disorganized and me having that same trouble with them. And I think I don't need to focus on that so much. And I don't know how huge that is in my story any longer. I've moved to Austin, and it's a new city and it's a new part of my life. And so struggling with making new relationships, maybe just be the reality of, being in a new place, and not necessarily that I'm always going to be a failure within that. So maybe just kind of taking that piece out and starting new, looking forward.
So it sounds like you're kind of even being able to take a step back and kind of look at your story or your experiences as kind of an outsider.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. That sounds really good. So going from here, what do you want your future to look like from here? How do you want your story to continue?
I think giving myself more encouragement than the negative self-talk, like trying to encourage myself more, and also accept my part in my successes and the things that do go right, trying to really acknowledge my part in that, and not thinking so much of it as luck. I think moving forward, that's going to make a big difference.